Hi everyone, I'm Tang Tang from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a Christmas memory pillow blanket. This product is divided into the main part, triangle pieces, joining, overall edging and decorations. Let's start with the main part. It's divided into the main part fabric and edging. First, I'll introduce the crochet technique for the main part fabric. The fabric is crocheted using the diagonal method, working back and forth in rows. It's divided into two sections, the increasing section and the decreasing section. Throughout the middle, new yarn is added and colors are changed to create the corresponding pattern. Finally, edging is crocheted around the completed fabric piece. The stitches used include chain stitches, double crochets and slip stitches. Please watch the demonstration. Next, let's take a look at the pixel chart. When crocheting, we watch both the stitch pattern chart and the grid chart together. First, let's look at the grid chart. I'll demonstrate using this swatch here. The pattern is for reference only. It's just to teach you how to read the chart. The grid chart has numbers marked on it. These numbers indicate which row it is. For example, here it says 1, which means this is row 1. Here, both of these two squares are labeled with 2, indicating this is row 2. Later here, 3 squares all have 3 written on them, meaning this is row 3, and so on from there. So the pixel grid chart is read diagonally for row numbers. Note that sometimes the grid chart shows 01, which also represents row 1. 02 stands for row 2, and so on. Some grid charts don't have numbers marked on the squares, but instead indicate row numbers beside them. 1 represents row 1, 2 represents row 2. Next, you'll notice that each square has a different color. These differently colored squares form various patterns. The color used for each square is indicated next to the grid chart. For example, the light blue square in this large grid chart corresponds to the light blue square in the color scheme chart beside it. The text next to this light blue square indicates the yarn color number used for this square. Next, let's talk about the stitch chart. One grid chart corresponds to one stitch pattern in the stitch chart. First, find the position marked with 1, which is here. Then you'll see a marked crocheting direction on the chart. When crocheting, follow this direction. Now let's officially learn the crocheting method by following the video. For convenient watching, here I'm using chunky yarn for demonstration, with random colors. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes can be found on the detail page of our product and paper instructions. First, make a foundation chain of 3 chains. Then work row 1. Chain 3 as beginning chain. Starting from the 4th chain from the hook, pick up 1 strand on the top of the chain, and work 3 double crochets in each. Here, the 3 chains and 3 double crochets are considered as one cluster. Row 1 has only one cluster. Row 1 is completed. Work row 2 downward. First, make a beginning chain of 3 chains. When working back and forth, turn the fabric over. Turn counterclockwise. Then pick up these 3 chains. Work 1 cluster. First, chain 3 as a beginning chain. At this point, the wrong side of the chain is facing you. Pick up the half stitch at the highest position corresponding to the chain, that is, 1 strand above the raised horizontal bar. Correspondingly work 3 double crochets. If you can't find the position accurately, you can also count from the right side of the chain. Once done, 1 cluster is completed. Weave in the first cluster. Starting point. In the large space next to it, which is here. Insert into the large space and work a slip stitch. Continue working a cluster here. Chain 3 as a beginning chain. Pick up the same chain space. Work 3 double crochets. This row has 2 clusters. The second row is done. Move on to the third row. First, chain 3 as a beginning chain. Then turn over. Pick up the position of these 3 chains. Work a cluster. Similarly, the wrong side of the chains is facing you here. Insert the hook into the highest half stitch position and work. After completing, pick up the adjacent cluster, the gap between the beginning chain and the double crochet, which is the chain space next to the turning chain. Work a slip stitch. Then pick up the same chain space. Work a cluster. After completing, continue to pick up the gap of the adjacent cluster. Work a slip stitch. Then work a cluster here. The third row is done. This row has 3 clusters, as you can see. The texture of this row corresponds to the first row. This is the right side of the piece. The texture of double crochet is more even. When distinguishing right side from wrong side later, you can refer to the texture. At the same time, the yarn tail for starting chain should be at the bottom right corner. Next, work the 4th row. The method is the same as before. Start with a chain stitch. Then work a cluster. After completing, slip stitch into the gap of the adjacent group. Continue to work the second cluster. Correspondingly work the group position for the following clusters. Use one slip stitch as a bridge between clusters. Keep it going downward. Finish the last cluster. Row 4 is completed. 4 clusters were worked in this row. Follow the chart downward. Continue crocheting the remaining part of the increasing section. This concludes the explanation of the increasing section. Next, I'll explain several situations you may encounter during the crocheting process. I'll use a swatch for demonstration. First, I'll explain the method of joining new yarn. There are 2 scenarios. Let me start with the first one. Joining new yarn at the beginning of a row. Watch the demonstration. After completing the last stitch of the edge group on the previous row, pull up a large loop. We thread the fabric piece through the loop. Take the new yarn. Make a slip knot. Insert into the double crochet stitch at the edge. Draw the yarn through. Adjust the loop size. Chain 3 with the new yarn. Then turn the work. Start the pattern. That's how to change colors at the edge. Next, the second method, changing colors within a row. We need to join new yarn. Watch my demonstration. Place the yarn we're crocheting with on the wrong side of the fabric piece. Take the new yarn. Make a knot. Insert the hook into the gap. Pull the yarn through. Leave the yarn tail for joining on the wrong side. Then crochet one motif. While crocheting the motif, you can wrap the yarn tail for joining around the work. That's how to join new yarn within a row. Next, I'll demonstrate color changes for adjacent motifs, where you need to leave yarn tails. There are two situations. First, let's talk about the first situation, when the adjacent color block, either above or on the left side, requires the same color yarn. Watch my demonstration. After completing this color block, don't cut the yarn. When crocheting the next row, just pull this yarn over and crochet the motif directly. Place the yarn you're currently crocheting on the wrong side of the fabric. Slightly tighten the previous yarn. Don't pull the yarn too tight when bringing it over. The yarn brought over should be woven into stitches when crocheting the next motif. That's all for the first situation. Now let's move to the second situation. This color won't be used around this color block, but there's a pattern repeat one motif apart at the bottom left. Or it will be used at the top left with the same color yarn. We can simply bring this yarn over and crochet directly. That's all for the second situation. So the method for leaving yarn tails when changing colors between adjacent groups has been explained. Next, let's discuss changing colors between adjacent groups without leaving yarn tails. This color won't be used around this color block, but it will be used two motifs apart, or more at the bottom left, or above we'll use it. We can leave a 15 cm tail, and then cut off the yarn. When crocheting the motif, simply join the yarn again. Now I'll demonstrate the method of weaving in ends after cutting the yarn. For color changes, first take the yarn tail, from the chain stitch above, and pull through. Gently tighten it slightly. This creates a knot. The remaining yarn tail is woven into the wrong side of the fabric. Weave in a few more stitches. If you want it more secure, you can split the yarn tail into two strands. Pull one strand through an adjacent stitch. Tie a double knot with both tails. Then weave the remaining strands into the fabric together. Weave in a few more stitches. All other ends except the starting tail should be woven into the fabric separately. Weave the yarn tail for joining further into the fabric. Continue weaving in a few more stitches. That's how to handle color changes between adjacent motifs without leaving tails. Next, let's talk about when same color blocks are far apart in one row, meaning there are 2 or more motifs between them. To make crocheting easier, you can join yarn again in one of the sections. A skein has 2 yarn tails. One on the surface and one in the center. Here's what to do when you only have one color from a single skein. Use the other yarn tail for joining. For colors with multiple skeins, you can join a new skein. First, place the previous color's yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. Then pick up the corresponding yarn and join it. That covers how to handle far apart same color blocks in one row. Now let's crochet the decreasing section. Both diagonal ends need to have motifs decreased. Start by making 3 beginning chains. Turn. Join with a slip stitch at the motif below. Then work one motif. After completing, join with a slip stitch to the left side motif. Continue working motifs correspondingly in each stitch. Crochet all the way down to the inner side of the last motif. Complete the inner side of the last motif. Do not continue crocheting afterward. Make a slip stitch. This way, one motif is reduced at both the beginning and ending. This row is now complete. Move on to the next row. Using the same method, make 3 beginning chains. Turn and join with a slip stitch at the motif below. Then work one motif. Continue working motifs correspondingly. Complete the inner side of the last motif. This row is now finished. Proceed directly using the method from the first 2 rows. Keep going. Continue all the way down to the last row. After completing, the final row here will have only one motif. Once done, join with a slip stitch to the adjacent motif. Finally, work 3 chains. Turn. Join with a slip stitch at the motif below. After finishing, you'll need to cut the yarn. First, secure with a chain stitch. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Weave the yarn tail into the wrong side of the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches for security. That concludes the explanation of the decreasing section. That completes the crocheting method for the fabric piece. Once the main part is completed, proceed to crochet the edging. This is done by crocheting in rounds on the finished piece. Here I'll demonstrate the method using a swatch. First, take out the required yarn. Make a slip knot. Hold the yarn with left hand. Join the yarn at the chain space above on the right top corner of the right side of the fabric. The starting point is at the lower right corner position. After joining the yarn, make 3 chains as beginning chain. Count as 1 double crochet. Continue to work 1 double crochet in the same chain space. This creates 2 double crochets in the chain space. Work 2 double crochets in the left chain space. Work 3 double crochets in the next chain space. Continue down the edge in the chain spaces like this. Follow this pattern. That is, work 2 double crochets in one row. Work 3 double crochets correspondingly in one row. Continue all the way down this row. Pay attention, work 2 double crochets correspondingly in the last row. After completing, make 2 chains for the corner position of the edging. Rotate the piece. Then continue with the same method. Crochet this side of the strip piece. Work 2 double crochets correspondingly on the first row and the last row. In the middle, work 2 double crochets correspondingly in one row. Work 3 double crochets correspondingly in one row. Follow this pattern to complete this side. After completing, make 2 chains. Check it out. The piece is a square shape. When crocheting, work on each side of the square. Work 2 double crochets on the first row and the last row. In the middle, follow the pattern of 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets in sequence. When you reach the corner position, make 2 chains as a transition. Later you'll encounter the side of double crochets. Pick up the entire side of double crochets to work double crochets. When you find the placement of stitches for the double crochet, just pick the placement of stitches for the double crochet and work accordingly. If you only need to work 2 double crochets, skip the middle stitch and leave it unworked. When working 3 double crochets, work 1 stitch to another accordingly. Continue following the pattern of the previous side as shown in the chart. Complete this round. While crocheting, remember to check the number of stitches. Now, after completing the 2 chains at the last corner, pick up the 2 strands of the third chain stitch on the left side to join with a slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Gently tighten. That's the crocheting method for the main part edging. Secure with a chain stitch at the end. Leave a 5-10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. After completing the main fabric piece, let's learn how to crochet the triangle pieces. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Work back and forth in rows. 2 pieces require color changes midway. 2 pieces are crocheted in solid color. First, I'll demonstrate the triangle piece that requires color changes midway. Watch the demonstration before crocheting. Note, if you only have 1 skein of the same color for the first row, you need to wind 2 small yarn balls of the same size. If you have multiple skeins of the same color, you don't need to wind small yarn balls. Take the corresponding color yarn. I'm using random colors here. First, start with a double magic ring. After completing the starting chain, work on the first row. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Counts as 1 double crochet, then work a chain stitch as transition. Next, work a leaf in the chain space, which means working 3 double crochets in the same stitch. After completing, work a chain stitch as transition. Work 1 double crochet in the beginning chain space. This completes the first row. Close the magic ring. The right side of the first row is the right side of the whole piece. You can mark any 2 strands on the surface. Continue to crochet the second row. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work. Work a chain stitch as transition. Work a leaf in the first chain space below. One chain stitch as transition. work a leaf and a chain stitch as transition in the left side space. Then work on the turning chain of the previous row. Count the third stitch from the bottom upwards. You can flip to the right side to check. The first chain is the braid formed by the beginning chain. Start counting from the next stitch below. 1, 2, 3. Pick up 1-2 strands of the third chain, and work a double crochet. If you can't find the exact position, just work directly into this space. This completes the second row. Now let's work on the third row. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work. Work 1 chain as transition. Work 1 leaf in each of the 3 chain spaces below. Work 1 chain as transition between leaves. After completing the last leaf, work 1 chain as transition. On the third chain of the beginning chain on the left side, pick up 1-2 strands of yarn and work 1 double crochet. This completes the third row. The crocheting method for the following rows is similar to the previous rows, only the number of leaves and chains differs. Continue crocheting according to the pattern chart until the 6th row is completed. After completing the 6th row, now let's work on the 7th row. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work 1 chain as transition. Work 1 leaf in each of the first 3 chain spaces. Work 1 chain as transition between leaves. After completing the first 3 leaves, the next stitch requires a color change. Pull a large loop, take the hook out. Thread the yarn through the loop. Gently tighten. Insert the hook into the front loop of the last double crochet and the strand on the left side. Take out another color of yarn. I'm using it randomly here. The original yarn is called color 1. The newly taken yarn is called color 2. Leave a 5 cm tail for color 2. Hold the yarn with left hand. Draw the yarn through directly. Pause color 1 here. Do not crochet. Crochet 1 chain as transition with color 2. As you crochet, weave in the yarn tail for joining. Use the new yarn in the left side hole, that is, crochet 1 leaf with color 2. Complete. Secure the tail the same way as color 1 did earlier. Then insert the hook into the front loop of the last double crochet of the leaf. and the left side strand. Take the same color yarn as color 1 to join. Pause color 2 here. Then crochet 1 chain as transition with the new yarn. Crochet the leaf in the left chain space. Crochet 1 chain as transition between leaves. After completing the last leaf, crochet 1 chain as transition. Crochet 1 double crochet in the beginning chain on the left side. This completes row 7. Continue to crochet row 8. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work, crochet 1 chain as transition. Crochet 1 leaf in each of the 3 chain spaces on the left side. Crochet 1 chain as transition between leaves. After completing the last leaf, secure the tail. Tidy up the tails while crocheting the edging. Join yarn color 2. Don't pull the carrying yarn too tight, or too loose between them. Mine is about the height of 1 double crochet here. After joining the yarn, crochet 1 chain as transition. Carry the yarn over your hook as you crochet. Then crochet 1 leaf in each of the 2 chain spaces on the left side. Crochet 1 chain as transition between leaves. Secure the tail after completion. Join yarn color 1. Crochet 1 chain as transition. Crochet 1 leaf in each of the 3 chain spaces on the left side. Crochet 1 chain as transition between leaves. Finally crochet 1 chain as transition. Work 1 double crochet in the turning chain of the previous row. This completes row 8. Now let's work on row 9. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work. Crochet 1 chain as transition. Crochet 1 leaf in each of the 3 chain spaces on the left side. Crochet 1 chain as transition between leaves. After completing the last leaf, secure the tail. Join yarn color 2. After joining yarn, crochet 1 chain as transition. As you crochet, carry the yarn across over your hook. Then crochet 1 leaf in each of the 3 chain spaces on the left side. Crochet 1 chain as transition between leaves. Secure the tail after completing. Join yarn color 1 from the left side. Crochet the first chain as transition. Then crochet 1 leaf in each of the 3 chain spaces on the left side. Crochet 1 chain as transition between leaves. Finally crochet 1 chain as transition. Work 1 double crochet in the turning chain of the previous row. This completes row 9. For subsequent rows requiring color changes, follow the same color switching method as row 9. Crochet the leaves and chain stitches according to the pattern chart. Compare your work with the main fabric edges as you crochet. Don't make it too large or too small. If it's too large or too small, adjust your tension or switch hook sizes and recrochet. When one color runs out mid-project, leave a 5 cm yarn tail and fasten off. After completing the last row, secure with a chain stitch. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail and fasten off. This completes the crochet method for a triangle piece that requires mid-project color changes. Follow this method to make another one. Next, let's discuss the single color version. Using only one yarn color throughout, the technique is similar to the color-changing triangle piece. Except no color changes are needed mid-project. Just follow the chart to complete the crocheting. That's all for the triangle piece crochet method. Now let's move on to joining. Take the main part and the triangle piece. Wrong side up, right side down. Align the edge of the last row of the triangle with the edges of the main part. First secure both ends of the last row of the triangle piece. To both ends of each side of the main part. Remember not to secure at the corner positions. Then secure a few points evenly along the edges. Once secured, place the main part in front, and the triangle piece at the back. Starting from any endpoint. Insert the hook into the main part side. Through the last edging stitch closest to you. This will leave one strand of yarn in front of the stitch. Continue inserting the hook into the stitches of the last row of the triangle piece. To join the yarn. Work 2 chains as a transition. Skip 1 stitch. Pick up the stitch closest to you on the main part side. On the triangle piece side. Skip 1 stitch, chain, and pick up the stitch together to make a slip stitch. Continue with 2 chains as a transition. Skip 1 stitch. Pick up the stitch closest to you on the main part side. On the triangle piece side. Skip 1 stitch, pick up the stitch together to make a slip stitch. Let me demonstrate again. First, work 2 chains as a transition. Skip 1 stitch on the main part side. Pick up the stitch closest to you. On the triangle piece side. Skip 1 stitch and pick up the stitch together to make a slip stitch. Following this demonstration. Finish this edge. Once this edge is completed, rotate the piece. Work 3 chains as a transition. Connect using the same method. For the remaining edges, follow the previous demonstration. After completing each edge, work 3 chains as a transition. Continue connecting until this round is finished. After completing the last edge, work 3 chains as a transition. Then make 1 slip stitch into the space of the beginning. Pull tight. Leave a 5 cm tail to cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tails. That's all for the joining. There will be one yarn left on the front side of the main part. After joining is completed, now let's learn how to crochet the border. Crochet around the connected triangle piece in rounds. Right side facing up. Find the first row position of any triangle piece. Insert the hook into the side edge of the first row. Take the yarn to join. Chain 3 to begin. Work 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Work 2 double crochets on the left side edge. Then work double crochets along the row edges. Follow the chart for the number of double crochets. Continue following the chart until the junction of the triangle pieces. Pay attention to the number of double crochets on each row edge. The chart has all the markings. Make sure not to make mistakes. The swatch has fewer rows. The number of double crochets is not for reference. Reach the junction. Work 3 treble crochets on the left side. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into the corresponding position. Pick up the corner of the main part and the connecting chain stitch together to crochet. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over again, and pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times, once, twice, 3 times. This completes 1 treble crochet. Continue yarn over the hook twice. Insert into the corresponding position. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over again, and pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. This completes another treble crochet. Work 1 more treble crochet in the same position. Once completed, move to the left triangle fabric piece position. Crochet symmetrically to the right triangle fabric piece. Follow the pattern chart until reaching the first row on the left side of the triangle fabric piece. My stitch count here is not for reference. Everyone should crochet according to the pattern chart. Once completed, the first edge is done. Next, work 3 chains for the corner position. Rotate the piece. Follow the previous edge and corner demonstration. Follow the pattern chart until completing the last corner position. Join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. This completes round 1. Finish with 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a 5-10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Insert the hook into the last chain space of the previous round to join yarn. After joining yarn, crochet round 2. Work 3 chains as beginning chain. Crochet 4 double crochets in the same stitch. Skip 2 stitches on the left side. Skip the beginning chain and 1 double crochet on the left side. Crochet 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Skip 2 stitches. Crochet 5 double crochets in the same stitch on the left side. We consider these 5 stitches as a fan stitch. Continue skipping 2 stitches. Crochet 1 single crochet. Skip 2 stitches. Crochet 1 fan stitch. That is, crochet 5 double crochets in the same position. Then follow the pattern of 1 single crochet, 1 fan stitch. Skipping 2 stitches between them. Complete this edge. Finally skip 2 stitches. Crochet 1 fan stitch in the corner space on the left side. Two chain stitches. Crochet another fan stitch in the same space. Then follow the demonstration for edges and corners. Complete this round according to the chart. After completing the last edge, crochet 1 fan stitch in the starting corner space. Two chain stitches as transition. This completes the stitch pattern in the first corner space. Finally join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Cut the yarn to finish. This completes round 2. Continue inserting the hook into the chain spaces between the fan stitches. Take the yarn to join. Make 3 chains to start. Work 1 double crochet in the same stitch. One chain stitch as transition. Single crochet in the middle double crochet stitch of the left fan stitch. 1 chain stitch as transition. Double crochet in the left single crochet stitch. 1 chain stitch. Work another double crochet in the same stitch. 1 chain stitch as transition. Single crochet in the middle double crochet stitch of the left fan stitch. 1 chain stitch as transition. Work 2 double crochets in the left single crochet stitch. 1 chain stitch as transition between the double crochets. 1 chain stitch as transition after completion. Single crochet in the middle stitch of the left fan stitch. Follow this pattern afterward. Continue crocheting according to the chart all the way down this side. After completing the last chain stitch, work 2 double crochets in the left chain space. 2 chains and 2 double crochets. Follow the demonstration for the previous sides and corners afterward. Follow the chart to complete this round. Join with a slip stitch at the end. The third round is complete. Next, crochet the fourth round. First, attach yarn in the hole on the right side of the beginning chain. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Work 1 double crochet in the same position. In the left stitch and chain space, work 1 double crochet corresponding to each stitch. Continue crocheting according to the chart all the way down this side. Complete. Work 2 double crochets in the left chain space. 2 chains and 2 double crochets. Then follow the previous demonstration for the edges and corners. Follow the chart to complete this round. Join with a slip stitch at the end. Cut the yarn. The fourth round is complete. Weave in the yarn tails. That's the end of the edging demonstration. After completing the edging, work a fluffy lace trim around the main part fabric. Insert hook into the second double crochet on any side of the main fabric edging. Pick up the front loop of the stitch. That's the strand closest to you. Join the yarn. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Counts as 1 double crochet, then work 1 chain as transition. Skip 2 stitches on the left and work 1 double crochet. Pick up the front loop of the stitch. 1 chain as transition. Skip 2 stitches on the left and work 1 double crochet. Then work 1 chain as transition. Continue skipping 2 stitches and work 1 double crochet. Check if the fabric lies flat while crocheting. If it's not even, adjust the number of skipped stitches until it lies flat. Everyone follow the pattern. First work 1 chain as transition, then skip 2 stitches and work 1 double crochet. Continue all the way down this edge. After completing the last double crochet, work 1 chain as transition. Skip 2 stitches below. Insert the hook at the edging placement on the left side, and work 1 double crochet. Work into the right side of the treble crochet. Two chains as transition. Work another double crochet in the same stitch. Work into the left side of the treble crochet. Between the double crochets, there are 3 treble crochets spaced apart. This completes one edge and one corner position. Rotate the piece. Work 1 chain as transition. Skip 1 stitch on the left side, and work 1 double crochet followed by 1 chain. From now on, follow the pattern. Starting from the first double crochet after the beginning chain to the current stitch technique demonstration. Crochet the entire round according to the chart. Finally, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. If you can't find the position, just work into the chain space on the left side. Cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Make sure all yarn tails are secured. Next, use a yarn needle to pick up the fluff. To make it softer. If you have a pet brush at home, you can also use a pet brush. Brush it to enhance the fluffy texture. This completes the fluffy edging.